Alright, what's up everyone? My cousin was talking at Thanksgiving about Season of Mastery, I think, something like that, for World of Warcraft. And when he was talking about it, it was like, oh, that's Ascension WoW. And I thought that was so interesting because I would have never expected WoW to do this, honestly. Ascension WoW is basically classless WoW. It's been around since 2017, I think. It was my dog. 2017, and in it it's gone through tons of iterations and styles of classless, basically. But it just made me want to make a video about it because I really like this server, but it has issues like anything, obviously. So, and then I just kind of wanted to read about the new season of Mastery or whatever it's called for WoW, and then compare it to Ascension. So it's kind of like a viewpoint of someone who's played Ascension for a long time. Not a long time, actually. I played Ascension in the early days, and then I quit, and then I came back like a year ago, and then I casually played. But basically, this game is a modified version of WoW, and you get enchants, and this is like where you can put these enchants. These enchants used to be on your armor, and when you would get new armor, you would always have to apply new enchants, and it was just like, ugh, get new gear and have to reapply your enchants or swap gear. It was just a headache, kinda. So when they changed this recently, I think it was this year, it was just so much better. They have wardrobe, a seasonal type thing, and then this is your talent tree. So you can pick from anything from these trees, and there's no set like you don't need to start here in order to get something down here, right? You can just pick wherever, which is kind of beautiful. It's just wonderful. So you can just pick anything you want, and this is why I like this game so much, is because it was built a lot around theory crafting. Like, the fucking hardcore people have the craziest spreadsheets on this, and like min-maxing. So it's really fun for people who like theory crafting. But the downside to this is that so there's like different, obviously like different enchants that you can go with, but there's like this basically main enchant, I would say. It's a mystic enchant, but it's like it basically makes your class. So this, even though WoW, like the talents are classless, this turns you into a class basically. So there's all these different types here, and you can see, you can like go through all of these, right? There's, and then so they have regular, like you know, lower tier ones, and then better ones, and then really good ones, and then basically the ones that make up your sort of class. So even though it's called classless, it I would reckon to say it's not classic, right? So each one of these revolves around like either certain spells, like being your primary concept, or certain combos of spells, or certain changes of spells, or maybe like a flip on a class. Like, either a rogue could be a healer or a tank rather than a DPS, right? The downside is that a lot of those don't really work out too well, and I've tried them. I'm the type of person that doesn't really want to play whatever is meta, and meta in this game is something like this Gurubashi Berserker, this Wind Rager. I think they probably nerfed this one, but basically, Yeah, this Gurubashi Berserker is just like upper tier in terms of like how much DPS it puts out. And it just becomes a thing to where it's like you can do all of the theory crafting you want, but you're still limited by these enchants in the end of the day, because someone who hits like 2 spells at a time can just out DPS you just based on what they choose as their main enchant here, which primarily makes the class, right? Like I keep saying. So all these are different. Like this one is the rogue healer, and the downside to this is that it just doesn't. It feels clunky to play, and there's things that they could do to fix it, but you know, would they do it is the question. You know, like I don't know. It's not fun. And then they have other ones that are like, you could be a shadow priest and heal through shadow priest, and it doesn't work, because this is the main thing, is it wants you to deal damage in order to heal. But if you have someone who's like a Gurubashi Berserker who's decent, he doesn't even need to be good, decent, and you're doing like a mythic run or just like a normal run, dude, they're deleted before you can even do damage to get a combo point, and you need a combo point to heal people, because your heals are based off of like your combo finishers. Those like do the heal in this instance. So you have to have combo points. How are you going to get combo points if there's 3 other even the tanks do so much damage in this game too, so it's like these mobs get deleted before you can do anything. So it's just like they're clunky in the sense that they just don't work out because of how the game operates. It's not really necessarily like a bad design against the class itself, or how they designed the class, right? Like it's cool and it's fun when it does work. If like you're in a raid or something like that, it's probably more fun in my opinion. But like you're not raiding every day. You're usually doing mythic runs or things like that, and it's just tough. And then even in those instances too, it's just like healers are better, you know, like more often than not. The other one that was really cool was that there's this crypto therapist, which I actually have a character of. But the crypto therapist would basically it would use frost bolts, and the frost bolts would heal, and it was just like, man, the way that they designed some of these classes, so good. And I would say like, I don't know how many of those classes they've made, but I almost feel like only 10% of them are like really good. The rest are like meh, right? And that's what's unfortunate, is that they have a lot of good ideas here, but in terms of them like actually like being good or whatever, I think this is my. Oh, I think I don't know. I have a crypto therapist somewhere. You can have multiple talent trees, so you can have just one character and you can just build that character to do everything, you know. So I don't remember exactly where, but this game was just really, really fun to play in terms of exploring all of that stuff. But the downside is that once you explore it all and then you get into like the end tier of playing this, oh boy, this all reset. But yeah, once you get into like, once you've done it all, it then gets a little boring. Oh shit, it just reset my enchants. Well, I guess we're not playing this one. So, yeah, so that was kind of why I stopped playing, and I haven't played in a while, is because once I got to like pretty far end game, it just felt like I don't know if this is the right way to put this, but it just felt like, what was the point? Because my class that I wanted to play and that I liked playing, it just had some issues. Not issues. It's like when you play this game, there's that Guru Bashi Berserker that just hits 2 spells or whatever, and they honestly just deal so much damage. And for my class, it felt like they could just do a few things to tweak it to make it more enjoyable, but it's just not gonna happen probably. And coming back, we'll see if they've changed it, which they probably haven't. But the thing that I feel like is, like, if your class is super complex or hard to play, or it requires more thought or more skill buttons to press, more timing, etc., more management, I feel like you should be rewarded and be given more DPS than someone who's hitting the same buttons over and over again, and it's just two buttons. I eventually made a macro because I was just tired of it, because keeping up with this the stacks was just way too hard. If they allowed for the stacks to carry on for, like, or just be infinite, and not even, like, if there was no timer on the stacks, this would be amazing. So basically, what I'd like to go over is my class, because I think it's really fun, and I'm hoping that there's gonna be something like this in whatever the season of mastery is. And if there's not, or if it doesn't seem like it's gonna be anything special, then I don't know if I'm gonna play it. But basically, the juicy part of this is this blood for the blood god, and it turns Mutilate into a spell called Rizashi Talon, using Eviscerate and Venom, Dispatch, or Deadly Throw has a 20% chance per combo point to trigger 1 stack of Bathe in Blood per bleed effect active on your target that you applied. It's already confusing, right? When you have stacks of Bathe in Blood in active, if you use Hunger for Blood, you explode in favor of the Soul Flayer. Having Blood for the Blood God equipped extends your Crimson Tempest base duration by 4 seconds. Okay, so that basically tells you, like, what this sort of quote class does, but it's basically, like, based on a rogue, obviously, because you're using Mutilate, right? So, and then you have to use daggers, obviously, so it's basically like a rogue class archetype. And then it turns Mutilate into something called Rizashi Talon, and then that instantly attacks with both weapons. And then the damage is increased by 4% against target per currently active bleed effect that you've applied, and it awards 2 combo points. Then you get Bathe in Blood, which is bleed effects deal 5% more damage, stacks up to 30 times. Eviscerate and Dispatch deal 5% damage more per stack versus monsters. So that's what I'm talking about, is the stacks of Bathe in Blood, and it stacks up to 30 times, but it has, like, a time frame that you can lose or drop the stacks if you don't keep them up. And obviously, in order to keep up the stacks, you have to Eviscerate or Dispatch. Okay? Like, that's the only way to keep up Bathe in Blood stacks, is to Eviscerate or Dispatch. No other way. Okay? Then you get Favor of the Soul Flayer, which is just like a buff that you get afterwards. When you hit this thing, Hunger for Blood, So that's like the damage, and then the buff that you get. So you do damage to people, and then you get a buff too. Then these are like the secondary, I guess you could say, enchants, and this is like the stronger ones, and then you have the lower tier ones, right? And these are just minor things. Most of the time they're based off of talent trees, so it basically mitigates using talent points. So you can like kind of, this is where a lot of the theory crafting is these enchants right here is where a lot of the theory crafting comes in, is because they're balanced with your talent tree, and balancing the talent points in your talent trees, and then balancing these and how many you're putting on, super important. So that's kind of like a build. And what's cool about this is that, I don't know where it is. There we go. Whoa, they got a lot of builds, huh? What's cool about this is that you can go and look for a ton of builds, right? These are like the most popular ones. So if you go in here, it shows you, you know, what talent trees, what enchants he's running. So it's cool. And then you can upload your own. You can look at other people's, search for other people's, etc. So it's very cool in that sense. Basically what I did is that I personally had three different builds, which was a tank, a DPS, and a healer. This was my DPS class. So basically what it revolved around, obviously, was that bathe in blood, and this is a macro that I made once I figured out the timing of everything. So pop some blood, some buffs right here, and then you just go to town. So you get combo points, you add your bleeds. Once Garrote procs here, hit a Garrote, there's a Garrote, and then you just start stacking to 30. But see, I'm already almost gonna drop this, but that's where my timing comes in and why I made this macro. It's because if you watch the macro, it's like fucking a million fucking spells that you would have to slam, right? On top of managing this. So as soon as it hit like 25, that's when I would hunger for blood, and that's where your like major AoE damage comes from, and then you get like buffs and shit after you hit it. So just huge damage, right? And then it's hard because you want to make sure that you're getting your bathe in blood stacks and you keep them up. See, I almost dropped them again. Then you can hit your buffs. See that? So we're gonna keep going because we still got Death Wish to use. Forgot to use it. Cold blood too. And then the time frame is like you want 30 stacks of bathe in blood, and then you want your hunger for blood to be up. So that's why it's like a lot of timing, and then keeping up all your bleeds, and then you have to hit hunger for blood when you have as many bleeds up as possible. So that's what's just kind of like fun about this class, is that there's like so much to do. But it also just sucks because, see, I'm doing up close to 9k damage, which I guess, well, I don't know anymore, but it was like pretty good. But most people who were really good were doing like 10k to, 12. So it just kind of like, I can't get to that point really, and even if I did, it just requires a lot more effort. One of the downsides about this, or I guess the tough parts about this, is rolling for your spells. So this is where another part of the classes comes in, is that you can get these mystic enchants, but without the spells to go along with the mystic enchants, that's where your build like falls off. So this is why it's like you can have this talent tree, you can have all of this shown, but it doesn't matter if you don't roll for these. And this is where the RNG comes in, and why people just roll characters a bunch of times, and they just re-roll a ton of times. And why I kind of stopped playing too is because if you want to have like a perfect character, you gotta re-roll a bunch, or you gotta spend like in-game currency. It doesn't cost you money, but well, I mean, you could pay with real money, but it doesn't cost you real money to re-roll these skills. And you want to have, like, obviously if you're min-maxing, you want to have the best spells possible for your build, and only your best spells possible. You don't want to have any extra fluff or any useless shit. And then you're also balancing all of these spells, because you can only have certain kinds. They're also like and this is why I like this class so much, is because it's very balanced. So there's like certain levels to the skill cards, obviously, same thing as the enchants basically, so that it's balanced. So that's one thing in the beta that they didn't have at all. So you could literally just stack all the best spells onto one character and just shit on people. But this balances it out to where you can only have like 5 of the, like, what would I call them, speed spells, or, you know, blink, or whatever, like, you know, sprint, demonic leap. There's a lot of spells that are it just limits you, where you can't stack a ton of spells together because you just don't have enough of the skill cards to do it. It only allows you certain amount of skill cards for each blue, green, purple, and gold. So I think this is my my tank that I played, and this one was very cool, because basically what it would do is let's see if I have a two-hander here in my inventory. I don't. Can I use my mount? Wow, it's like broken. Can't use my mount. This class was super fun too. I had a ton of fun with this Thunderclap sort of class. It was called Thunderslam. Oh, I gotta change that too. Okay, so this is the other beautiful thing about this place, is that they had the basically you could just hit this and change all your gear instantly. It's fucking beautiful. So that it was really accommodating to changing your classes, going in between each class. It was very easy. And then all you'd have to do is change that one thing I did, which is you go to this, and then you change your mystic enchant. I don't know which one. I'll just go with this one. And you activate that. It's not going. Did I break it? Maybe my thing is glitched or something. Am I in combat? Is that why? I don't know, let me relog. But yeah, this is what was kind of bummer about the game too, is that like I said, I wanted to play this class, but if I played against the Gurubashi Berserker, my DPS I couldn't even compare. You just couldn't do things, unfortunately, when certain classes are better. So it just felt like, why am I playing this class when I could just play the other class? Because I'm sure the other class is just as fun, right? Like, it's probably not that bad. So that's kind of where the bummer comes in. The other thing about this is that PvP is really tough to balance, and I don't like, almost no one plays PvP unless you're crazy. There's these specs that you can play which are basically unkillable, and it was the same. This is not new. It was the same thing in like the beta and early days of Ascension, where the best way to build your class is basically just to build tank. Tanks win. That's it. Bottom line. You know, CC tank. This is what you build, and it just shits all over everything. Because most of the time, if like you're a DPS person or whatever, it's just not gonna work out. You can get lucky, or you can try your best to have the enough stuns to kill someone, but if they're PvP oriented too, they're gonna have just as many skills that get them out of stuns, or defensive abilities to save them. So that's what's kind of tough. Alright, here we go. So this is the other one that I liked, which is, again, I have a macro for it, or I don't know. So what it would do is you hit Thunderclap, and then you get an instant cast of either Lightning Bolt or Chain Lightning. And then you get this other spell that replaced Storm Strike, which is called Lightning Blade. So it's just really cool. Super, super cool. And it worked well for tanking. Like, you could basically be a two-hand parry tank. So that's what I was. And it just worked well because Thunderclap did a ton of damage AoE, and you're spamming it. And then this little spell here was Crackling Thunder. Leaves a crackling thunder on the ground which deals damage to enemies, increases your chance to score a critical strike against them. This damage deals additional threat. So it's just a good tank class, really easy to play, because most people just wanted to fucking zoom through everything, and how you grind it, the best way to grind for gear was to do these quests here, and you get catch boxes from them, so you just wanted to burn through all of your PvE quests, and for whatever reason people just don't like playing tanks here. So that was my way to just grind gear, was either playing a tank or a healer. Basically, I would say that this game is really fun, but it just needs more understanding, I guess. That I don't know what it needs, honestly. It's really good, to be honest. There's nothing majorly wrong with it. It just doesn't have the appeal that I personally want, because I think that I'm not super into PvE. One, PvE is fun, and doing Karazhan was cool, but it's after you do Karazhan a million times, you don't really need to do it again, even though it's on a new server and it's kind of fresh or whatever. It just gets boring. PvE is way more fun to me, so in that sense, that's what I think kind of drove me away from this server. But hearing about Ascension was pretty interesting. So I kind of just wanted to like go over and see what they're doing. Leveling phase. Rune engraving systems. New rune class. Three runes for each class. New class roles. So it's not classless. It's not classless. It's classes with different runes. Interesting. Level up raids, 10 player raids, boss mechanics challenges, new gear, BFD, new gear. What the fuck? That sword is OP, dude. Blast all enemies in front of you with pressurized water. AoE damage. Yo. On a two-hand sword. 73 top end's shit though. That's really low. It's fast, I guess, though. 250 speed. Interesting. Improved chance to hit by 1%. That's probably the only sword that has a chance to hit that low level. I can't think of any other sword that has a chance to hit. Until you get to what? 40, 42? Somewhere around there. 36 maybe? I don't know. It's crazy. It's a good weapon. New World PvP events. Enemy camps, new NPCs. Ashen Veil exclusive amount. New reputation rewards too. Okay. So Mage can be a healer. Interesting. They're making a crypto therapist. My cousin said he's gonna play Alliance. Rogue can't be healer. Rest in peace. Shaman can do everything. That's nice. Warrior. Let's see what these runes are about. Okay, here we go. Increases your spell critical strike chance with all spells by 15%, but your non-periodic spell critical strikes now have an additional 1%. Not bad. Think they literally stole the. Oh my gosh. All of these are like straight up taken from Ascension. Gives you chill effect. To get your fingers of frost effect with treat your next. Regeneration. Requires mage. Heals target. Records the subject. All chromatic. Wow. They made a chronomancer. Interesting. Enlightenment. 10% more damage, so you have more than 70% mana, so below 30% mana. Okay, that's another thing from Ascension. Icy Veins, it's normal. You can get it at level 1 though? What the fuck? How do you get these things? Did it say? Through discoveries. Okay, that didn't say anything. What? Normal mana regeneration is activated and increased by 300%. Interesting. An execute spell. Mass regeneration. Did that go twice? Oh, a chest and legs, okay. Living Flame. Summons a spellfire flame that moves towards the target, leaving a trail of spellfire. Okay, that's also something in classes. I don't quite understand. I'm still confused. It's giving you... Icy Veins is a TBC spell, is it not? Is this not a TBC spell? Yes. Look at this. This is a TBC spell. I don't know what the fuck all this extra stuff is actually. This is not in classic. So is it? I don't know how I feel about this. This seems kind of stupid. They're making vanilla with TBC spells as runes. Is that what they're doing? One, two, three, four. You mean Shadow Word Death? Penance? This is not doing anything new. Oh my god. Here I was excited. What a fucking letdown this is. That is sad. I don't know how I feel about this. I really don't. I'm not sure. This is a bullshit fucking spell. That sucks. Targets from your power word shield will gain rage from taking damage despite the damage being absorbed. That's like a gimp. That's a gimp? Why would you gimp yourself? That's like the one thing that's good about your powered shield as a priest. That sucks. Now you're giving warriors the ability to gain rage when they have powered shield. That sucks. Mind Flame, Mind Blast. Deal more damage. Powered Barrier. All party members. Now flicks up to two additional targets. Break off splinters of your soul. Attack your current target with a mace? Reducing attack speed, attack power, and armor of any target they hit? What? That's a stupid spell. Oh my god. No one's gonna use that. Places a spell on the target that heals them. Do these act as mobs for you, where they take aggro? This would only be good if they had some sort of taunt mechanic. Places a spell on the target that heals them. Next time they take damage or receive healing, when a heal occurs per mending. Yeah. Penance. Mind Seer. Death. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Master Channeler, what a name. It receives Lake of Fire. Demonic Tactics increases spell crit. Incinerate, Demonic Grace. Pets dodge chance. Interesting. Metamorphosis, huh? Gonna give them a tank spell like that? Chaos Bolt, huh? Alright, let's see what the warrior gets. Usable while in combat, nice. Ferocious Strike, instant, nice. Can only be used, yeah. Instant. While wielding 2. Attack speed is increased. Victory Rush. Wow. What is this? Quick Strike, huh? Basically a heroic strike. Instant heroic strike. Instant. Movement speed are increased by 10% too. This is not interesting at all, really, to be honest. I don't know about this. Alright, there's gotta be some good here. Quick draw. Why would you give us quick draw? It's like a boring spell, in my opinion. This is a tank spell. Reduces the energy cost of your backstab and ambush abilities by 20. Does not apply to mutilate. What? Between the eyes. Finishing moves. Stuns the target. Cooldown shared with kidney shot. That's interesting. That's interesting. A ranged stun. A ranged kidney shot. Blade dance. Parry. Tank spell. Envenom. Mutilate. Wow, they gave rogues a lot of shit. Shadow strike. Teleport. There's no way I would play anything else except for a rogue. Oh my god. Get all the cool shit. Teleport behind your target? You're gonna let me, a level 25 rogue, teleport behind my target and have a ranged kidney shot? Bro. Talk about OP. And this is also what I would probably go with. I don't know if I need this. Seems okay, but this is questionable, man. You can put it on. This is a third poison. That's interesting. Alright, let's see what else they gave us. Teleport, viciously slash, bleed damage, or it's one combo point. Shiv is also main gosh. This is a tank spell. Okay. Dual wields back. Interesting. Shield mastery. Overload. Healing rain. Ancestral guidance. Earth shield. Nice. Way of the earth. This is probably a tank spell. Increased threat. Yeah, increased health. 30% increased health? So if you're dual wielding, why would you not put Rock Biter in your main hand if you're PvPing? 30% increased health is kinda crazy. It's a good amount of health. Has a separate cooldown. Dude, this is a PvP spell. Or PvP enchant or whatever rune. Shamanistic Rage, Water Shield, Lava Burst, Lava Lash, Molten Blast. Alright, this is the one that's questionable because usually Paladin is always OP as shit. Instant, 4% of base mana, Seal of Martyrdom. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't know if that's good. Damn, dude. Who's gonna give up Divine Storm for this, man? Honestly. Everyone's gonna take Divine Storm, bro. Unless you're a tank. Or a healer. Fucking Divine Storm, bro. Shit's OP. Too fun, too. Avenger Shield. Nice. Cast at any target. It's a good one for DPS. Alright, so that's easy. You run Divine Storm. Exorcist. Yeah. Yeah. Unless you needed a silence, but fuck a silence, dude. You get exorcism to cast on anyone, that burst damage is all you need with the Hammer of Justice. Then you get a Crusader Strike. That I don't know how I feel about this. I could show you guys. Easy build. Divine Storm, Crusader Strike, Exorcist. Then you go probably Benediction. You know this, and you go 2, 3, and you go 1. You go. If you're 25. That's probably what you would do if you're 25. I don't know if parry's better than this. It's questionable. You can probably put this into either of these and it'd be no big deal. I don't know if you like necessarily would care about your parry chance, but I think it's better than these two personally. If we're talking about PvP, then when you level up, if you don't have your boots enchanted, you can go in here. This just adds a debuff, which is annoying. It's not like a big deal, but it adds a debuff to people, so it's just nice to have another debuff on someone. I know people would probably go with what's it called, but this is questionable because if you're someone that uses lay on hands a lot, you can go here, but it's probably between either one of these two. This one's good too, having 10% reduced stun. The other one that you could go is Reckoning, but I don't know if Reckoning's good anymore. I feel like they nerfed it. Rogue. I don't know. That's interesting though. So basically, this is just vanilla with some TBC spells as runes and a little bit of new stuff. Barely any new stuff. I'm not sure if I am gonna play that. Probably not, to be honest. Doesn't seem that interesting to me personally. I feel like if they were gonna do something right, or I think it's kind of weird that do they give Shaman Storm Strike is the question. I don't think they did. No Storm Strike. I think that's super odd. They gave Lava Lash, which is offhand, so they basically want Shamans to play dual wield, and I think that sucks. You're like forcing people into a pigeonhole with this type of shit. I think that sucks. So you're basically telling all Shamans dual wield from now on. No two-hand Shamans anymore. It's lame. Super lame. Rogue seems pretty cool. Probably one of the coolest ones out of all of them. I'm not interested in hunters at all, really, but it doesn't seem like they did much, to be honest. They just gave you guys TBC spells. Warrior seems okay. The question I have is like, how are you getting the runes? Like, I didn't really watch anything, so I don't know how you're getting the runes. But if you get to start the runes, if you get to start with these runes without having to like look for them or somehow buy them or whatever, and you just get to start with quick strike, that solves a lot of issues for a warrior. A lot of issues. I don't know though. See, and then it just feels like they gave certain classes a lot, and then certain classes got kind of cucked, in a sense. Priest feels okay. You get a disease. You get an AoE barrier shield. And then whatever the fuck this homunoculi is. This is all, and then the rest is all fucking TBC spells, which is kind of weird. It's just like, I don't know. All TBC spells, basically. TBC spells, and then they turned him into like a healer chronomancer, so I feel like only 2 of them. Two levels. Levels 25, 40, 50, and 60. I don't know. If I had to rate this out of 10, I would give it a very meh. So it's like a 4 or a 5. Some of these spells are just not it, man. Okay, the main thing is, I don't know if I would go with the Chronomancer as a good healer personally. If it's anything like the one that's on Ascension, or the concept based on Ascension, I feel like the best use of a healer is to just do the Chirotherapist. It's so good. Or even the Cauterizing Flames was good too. So like either of those 2 concepts in the mage healer would have been cool. I think the main thing is that I was thinking that it was gonna be closer to Ascension, to where it was really gonna diversify things. This is not diversifying. This is not Ascension. This is basically, what would you call this? Vanilla 2.0. That's kind of how I feel. I feel like Turtle is vanilla plus, because Turtle it's like vanilla at its core. It doesn't really, it changed like a decent amount, but it's at its core, it's still very vanilla, and it just feels like a plus. Like they added just enough, not too much. The Paladins are OP in that game for sure, but I feel like for the most part it feels like vanilla plus. This feels like vanilla 2.0, where it's not gonna be like vanilla plus, because they're adding this rune system in, and they're trying to make classes be able to do things that they weren't able to do in vanilla, which is cool, but we'll see how it plans out. Blizzard doesn't have a good track record, to be honest. Their track record as of late has been terrible, and I think it's interesting that they're doing this with WoW. Because I feel like with Classic WoW, there wasn't like too much that they needed to do in order to get it to a better level. I feel like if they just added more content to vanilla WoW, it would be more fun. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things about vanilla that don't make sense because it was made so long ago and it was like not fleshed out. So I would say that either TBC or Wrath is probably the best iteration of WoW in its entirety. I miss the Pandaria is pretty good too, and so Kata was okay, but I feel like Wrath is kind of where, like, I don't know if there's a better iteration of WoW than Wrath, personally. It just felt really good in all aspects. Like, vanilla feels like you're limited in some senses, and it just feels like a lot of things don't make sense because they didn't understand, they didn't know about shit back then. And then TVC was like, okay, we're figuring shit out, but we're still kind of lost. And then Wrath was like, we got it. We got it locked down. And that's when it got good. But I feel like with vanilla, there's like the charm to it is having a lot of those things where they didn't know was right. So I almost don't know about the rune thing, because I feel like the way Turtle WoW did it was good, to where they just realized what was missing out of vanilla and they put it in. And what was missing in vanilla was like a lot of the extra stuff that Turtle WoW does, like having camps where your XP is better, so it's easier to level and not as time consuming because no one wants to grind anymore. That's a pretty simple one. And then like all the extra little towns and cities that they added inside of Turtle WoW make it just feel more alive in a sense. A lot of the spells or the talents and stuff like that they reworked feel good, but I feel like the rune thing just adds more complexity to vanilla, and vanilla isn't, like, you don't play vanilla because it's complex, you know what I mean? It's not a complex game. Vanilla is chill, fun, rock, paper, scissors type game. So I don't know. We'll see. Because I feel like if you're going to go the rune way, then you have to go Ascension. You have to make it feel like there's a ton of diversity, or like there's more theory crafting to it, right? That's what I feel like. I feel like if you're going to go this route, then you got to go deep. You got to go balls deep. Go all in and try to develop something that is completely different from vanilla WoW. Just like make its own entity. That's how I feel. It shouldn't have any resemblance to vanilla WoW if you're gonna go this route. Because Turtle WoW still has like a very strong resemblance to classic WoW, and then you look at Ascension and it's not even close because some of the spells are changed. Interesting. Well,